Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, I'm Malaysia from AP. Today I'm going to explain the form of social conflict resolution. So, what is the meaning of social conflict resolution? Social conflict resolution or conflict resolution.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today we will review your friend assignment on the topic of conflicts. I am going to ask some your friend for a presentation today. Let's take a look at your friend first presentation. Alicia, please.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, I'm Alicia from 8B. Today I'm gonna explain the form of social conflict resolutions. So, what is the meaning of social conflict resolutions? Social conflict resolutions or conflict resolution is a way for two or more parties to find a peaceful solution from the disagreement among them. The disagreement can be personal, financial, emotional, or political. In this video, there are 4 different forms of social conflict resolution. Conciliation is one of the forms of social conflict resolution that carried out by certain institutions that can make the decisions fairly. In conciliation, the various groups sit together and discuss the matter that are the main problem in the conflict. The example of conciliation is the settlements of disputes that occurred between Thailand and France. Thailand and France agreed to form a conciliation committee which then discussed about the boundaries of Thailand and Cambodia. At the time, Cambodia was the territory of France, so the disputes involved Thailand with France, not Thailand with Cambodia. The second is arbitration. Arbitration also one of the form of the social conflict resolution. Arbitration used the third party to find a solution. This third party will make decision that must be agreed with the groups in that conflict. Arbitration also can be called as refereeing. The example: referee's decision in a soccer match when the soccer player violates the game by giving the red card. The third is mediation. Mediation is a form of social conflict resolution which uses the third party as a mediator. The decision of the third party in the mediation are not binding. For example, there's an unsolved problem or conflict between employees that involves the third party as a mediator.
Arbitration and mediation both use the third party, but remember, they do have difference. If the decision of the third party in arbitration must be agreed, the decision of the third party in mediation is not binding. The third party just became a mediator.
The last is coercion. This method is done by forcing the disputing parties to make peace. This method usually done when all the methods have been done but still fail. Coercion carried out physically and psychologically. Physically, coercion can be done with hitting, and this way might hurt someone physically. Meanwhile, psychologically, coercion can be done with threats, boycotts, or strikes. The example of coercion is the debt collector forcing someone to immediately settle their debt by hitting. So, I think that's all my explanation about social conflict resolution. I'm very sorry if there are something wrong. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
How do you think the Alice's presentation? Good, right? Second, Kafka, please.
Hello, I'm Kafka from 8B, and today I'm going to explain to you about conflict resolutions. So the first we have adjudication. Adjudication involves an independent third party considering the claims of both sides and making decision. The adjudicator is usually expert in subject matter in dispute usually, and he will usually be able to act inquisitorially. Next we have conciliation. Conciliation is an alternative out of court dispute resolution instrument like mediation. Conciliation is a voluntary, flexible, confidential, and interest-based process. The parties seek to reach amicable dispute and settlement with the assistance of the conciliator, who acts as a neutral third party. Okay, next we have mediation. It's a conflict resolution process in which a neutral mediator assists the parties through constructive discussion and negotiation of their issues in order to reach a mutually acceptable resolution. Next we have arbitration. Arbitration is a procedure in which a dispute is submitted by agreement of the parties to one or more arbitrators. Arbitration. The parties optimize for the private dispute resolution procedure instead of going to the court. And the last we have coercion. Coercion, usually typically government, is a person who forced to behave in a certain ways. Okay, that's it from me. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Next, please.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, hi. In this video, I'm going to tell you about social conflict. And let's take one example of social conflict. How about the land acquisition for the New Yogyakarta International Airport? And I'm gonna discuss about 3 things. 1 is social conflict in this case. 2, I'm gonna tell you why this such thing can happen. And 3, I'm gonna tell you how is the problem solving for this case, or how even you can avoid it. So, first one, what is social conflict? Social conflict is the struggle for agency or power in society. Social conflict occurs when 2 or more actors oppose each other in social interaction, and in this case, the social conflict happens within the little part of the community and the government. The little part of the community wants to protect their land because they inherited from their family, and in the opposite side, that is the government, wants to build an airport in there. So that's number 1. Number 2. So in number 2, why is this such thing can happen? This such thing can happen because there was a decision on both sides. The A side, that is in this case is the little part of the community, wants to keep their land and doesn't want to move to another land because that is not just their home, it is also their livelihood. Some of them is farmers, fishermen, and more. And on the B side, which is the government, wants to build airport on their land in order to develop the region, empower the society, and also give more easier access to Yogyakarta. As Adi Sucipto Airport is designed not for commercial airport, but for the airports. And Adi Sucipto Airport can hold more passengers again, because back in 2018, the total passenger for the Adi Sucipto is 7.8 million passengers. And Adi Sucipto Airport can only hold 1.8 million passengers. So yeah, that is why we need the Yogyakarta International Airport. Number 3. So how we can solve this problem, or there's actually a way to avoid this kind of conflict. This kind of conflict will not happen if the little part of the community that I already mentioned back then wants to give their land without complaining. So with that, the government will have more lesser effort to take their land and build the airport there. And this is actually just a little part of the community. The other community wants to give their land to the government without complaining, and the one who not complaining government should appreciate its people by giving settlement money which is appropriate for the people, which is not just lost their home but also their livelihood, and government also can empower for the affected people to work on their project at the airport once the airport already built, so they can still get their energy. Problem solving is actually very simple, just replace their home within and give them another job. So yeah, I think that's all. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
For added value, make a question about the material from your friend presentation. Send your question in a video format. Send it to my WhatsApp. Stay safe, stay healthy, and don't forget to pray. Mr. Yudono, Guru IPS School.
I will follow you.